Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guide 365, and in this video I am going to give you my movie recommendations for August 2021. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guide 365. Okay, in this video, I thought I would give you my movie recommendations for August 2021. Now, when it comes to this channel, I review a lot of new releases. I talk about the picture quality and the audio, but I very rarely touch on stuff that I watch in my own personal off time. I thought I would change that. I maybe will do a video once a month if you guys really enjoy this kind of thing, and talk about stuff that I watch just, for fun, that I go back to, or new discoveries that I made. And I'm not going to focus on the audio or video aspects and just the movie itself. So let me know in the comments if this is something you definitely want to see going forward. So the first movie I watched this month was a result of watching The Jungle Cruise in theaters from the new Disney feature based off the ride at the parks. And that is the inspiration for that, and that is The African Queen, starring Humphrey Bogart and Katharine Hepburn. This movie, I love going back to it. It's one of those great adventure stories, old school Hollywood, and I think it's just a lot of fun. Both performances from the leads are great. I think they did a really good job. And if you look into the behind the scenes stuff, there were some difficulties shooting this movie, on location. But what they put together is great. And it also has some just funny moments. And, when I think of Humphrey Bogart, I go more towards his serious roles. And it's great to see him in more of a comedic, element. And I just love the movie. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it visually still holds up today. And I absolutely recommend The African Queen, especially if you just watched The Jungle Cruise. Give this one a shot. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Another movie I watched is a great Hollywood classic, and that is Roman Holiday, starring Audrey Hepburn. This movie, I really like going back to it, and I'm a big fan, of course, of Audrey Hepburn. She's classic Royal Hollywood, and this is her first movie that I think really put her on the map. Great. I mean, we know the story. It's, a famous person or person of royalty that just wants to kind of get away from things, and she embarks on, a day out in Rome, and she meets somebody who knows who she is, but wants to kind of get the scoop on her story. But I think visually this is a great movie, and it's a lot of fun, and of course it just reminds you of how great Audrey Hepburn is as an actress. I recommend this one highly. It's a film that just it's a lot of fun. There's some great moments in it, and you can't go wrong. It's old school Hollywood at its best, and yes, definitely watch this one. Another movie I watched, a lot of people know the remake, and that is Vanilla Sky from director Cameron Crowe. But do a lot of people know where it came from, the original film? Open Your Eyes, also starring Penelope Cruz, I think, in my opinion, is a fantastic film, and it's better in a lot of ways than Vanilla Sky. Vanilla Sky tends to lean a little bit more towards the science fiction elements. And while this has it doesn't rely on it as so much of a plot device. It's just kind of a means to an end. And I like this one a lot. Out of the two films, this one I prefer a lot more. I think it's great. And, Penelope Cruz does a great job in this one. It moves at a good pace. And it has, a lot of charm to it. And it's got a great story. I would highly recommend picking this one up. Check it out. And if you are a fan of Vanilla Sky and you've never seen it, do yourself a favor and watch Open Your Eyes. This one is more, so every year for the last several years, and I think a lot of us do this, we'll like to go through the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And last year I went through the 4K editions, and this year I made it my mission to go through the 3D Blu-rays. So I thought I would touch on one that I just recently got to, and that is Doctor Strange in the original Steelbook edition with the 3D Blu-ray. Out of the 3D movies in the MCU, I would say that Doctor Strange is probably in my top 5 as far as 3D presentations go. Great visual style. The film itself is also really good, but I think the 3D Blu-ray edition, it's something special. I think it has some great 3D effects. It's a fantastic movie, and of course, I'm a couple of movies ahead of this now as far as the timeline. But yeah, for those people that have a 3D Blu-ray capability, I would recommend Doctor Strange. Check this one out. This one was a movie I went back to just a couple days ago, as a matter of fact, and that is Jet Li in Hero. I would absolutely love a 4K edition of this one, but you know, that being said, the movie itself is great. It is so grand in scale, visually beautiful, and it just tells you, you know, the earliest, you know, stories of China, and they're you know, trying to unify the country, and just the means to the end. And if you've seen a movie like Rashomon, Kurosawa's Rashomon, it takes a lot of those elements and gives you a nice fresh take on it. I like this one a bit. It's got a great cast in it. And, you know, even though I don't watch this one all the time, whenever I do go back, I'm always just floored by how good it is. But I would recommend Hero. Give this one a shot. It's just a great cinematic film and worthy of your time. This next movie I picked up on a Black Friday a couple of years ago. This is a total blind buy, but whenever I watch it, it's got a great home theater presence, but also the film itself is really good. And you know, you wouldn't think that much for a film that's almost just direct to Blu-ray, but Hunter Killer, starring Gerard Butler and Gary Oldman, is great. It got a good story. It's pretty, you know, action heavy. And, you know, it tells kind of two concurrent narratives going on simultaneously, and there's plenty of action. I feel, as much as I love Gary Oldman, I think he's kind of like, I would say, underutilized in this one, or this is not his best performance in my opinion. It's all about Gerard Butler and his those that surround him, but I like this one a lot. Just recently watched this one, of course, in the last few, you know, weeks, and I have a lot of fun with this one. It's got a good story, a lot of action, and it's got a good, you know, drama thriller aspect to it. But I would give this one a shot. Hunter Killer, definitely check that one out. Also came out on 4K recently, but I love the movie. And this one has two separate editions, and of course you always go with the extended in most cases, but Almost Famous, I love this one a lot. I know I mentioned Cameron Crowe not too long ago, but this one really is a fantastic film. Great musical presence, good time period, you know, for music, and just the coming of age aspect of the film is something that I can definitely identify with. But I love the movie. Almost Famous is a great film. You know, in my opinion, one of Cameron Crowe's best. But if you haven't seen this one, please check this one out. There's a couple Criterions I went through this month, and you know, I'm a fan of Criterion, especially now that they've officially announced that they're entering the 4K market. But La Piscine, this one I originally saw this one years ago, and I think it was a movie that I was like, that was very interesting. But when I watched it as older, I think I appreciated it a lot more. This one has a great story. It's just, you know, you think it's just kind of like you think it's kind of just like this average drama, you know, just like two men kind of competing over a woman, but then something happens, you know, partially way through it, and it just flips it on its head. And I like this one a lot. It's got great cinematography too. You know, pretty much a lot of this film takes place in one centralized location, but they make great use of the scenery, and I think it's just a good drama, a little bit of thriller thrown in there. But it's a cool film, and Criterion Collection did a great job on this one. And during the last sale, I invested in the 50% off sale. I invested in the World of Wong Kar-wai box sets from Criterion Collection. And I've seen, I would say, 4 of the movies that are in this set. But I want to single out one particular film, and that is Chungking Express. This movie really caught me by surprise at how much I enjoyed it. It's kind of like, it tells two self-contained stories that are a little bit connected, but it really shows the director's growth as a filmmaker. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. It had some good characters. The two stories are really great, and it actually has a really good soundtrack. And they also do a cover of the Cranberries' Dreams in one of the musical selections, and it's absolutely great. But if you're a fan of this director, Chungking Express, I highly recommend it. And if you haven't gotten a chance to pick up this box set, please do yourself a favor. Pick this one up right away. I can't wait to tackle Fallen Angels next, which is the follow-up. And I'm anxious to go through this set and just, embrace everything that it has to offer. So that is everything that I want to recommend for August 2021. Now it's your turn in the comments section below. What are some movies that you would recommend to me? Something that I should check out, and what do you think of my recommendations for this month? And do you want me to continue doing videos like this in the future? In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.